many stars in the world that could lure me from the warm comfort of my London Life Story studio to come to their patch. But then, let's be honest, there's only one Donny Osmond.
Chicago, Chicago.
Chicago is so close to my heart because this is where I started in show business.
Chicago, Chicago.
Piers, you never know what he's going to ask you. I got to be ready for anything.
I'm going to ask him about how isolated he felt when he grew up, about his difficult relationship with his father, about the extraordinarily sad and lonely days he spent in show business wilderness.
When you're talking to Piers Morgan, you gotta be open. You gotta be honest. You gotta be real, because I think he can read between the lines.
I'm gonna find out what lies beneath the Donny Osmond halo. Donny, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing great.
So this is the extraordinary
Very
thing
good to
about
see you
It's
again.
great to see you, but let's cut to the quick.
All right.
Chicago has always played this oddly sort of pivotal part of your life.
Well, you know why?
No, tell me.
This is where it all started.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I made my debut on the Andy Williams Show. And my brothers had this Christmas tour with Andy all booked. And Chicago was on the tour, but I wasn't. But everybody said, well, where's that little kid that just debuted on your television show? And Andy called home. And my mom, I don't know how she did this. She put her little 5-year-old boy on a plane to Chicago to join my father and my brothers. And I remember running out on stage. And after the song, I heard all these whistles and claps and noise and screams and hollers and these flash bulbs. And it freaked me out. And I ran off stage. And he said, Donny, get back here. This is all for you. It was that moment, Piers, that I thought, I got to do this the rest of my life.
Donny, during your 50-year career, I have read things about you and your relationship with your fans and the lengths they've gone to over the years to get to Donny Osmond, which have made my hair stand on end, never mind yours. And I want to just go through some of these to find out if they're actually true.
Okay.
Is it true that one girl tried to post herself to you in the mail?
Yes. I didn't actually see this. I was told that the post office stopped it. They said, something's suspicious about this box. You know, there are some air pockets or something in there, and you realize there's something alive inside this box.
This girl had put herself in a box and mailed herself to Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
At the right address?
Yeah, I guess. Somebody stopped
How far
it.
did she get?
Oh, not very far. They stopped it right away. The one that really freaks me out is the one that would try to rappel down the side of a hotel building. This was in Florida at the old Diplomat Hotel. And we saw the rope. The rope was dangling. And we thought, what in the world is that? And we walk out in the balcony, and this girl had started to put her legs over the... She was going to go down. She checked herself in a room.
Going to abseil down the side of the building?
Down the side of the building, get on our balcony and get to us.
In 1973,
yes,
so many girls turned up to meet the Osmonds at Heathrow Airport that a whole balcony collapsed.
Yes.
10,000 fans.
Yes.
Going crazy. Luckily, no one was hurt. And, of course, it was mainly centered around you, this horrible little man called Donny Osmond, who every girl I had my eye on at the age of 8 suddenly just migrated to.
I did all that just to bug you, Piers. So that's the whole mission. No, I remember that moment. We were waving at all the fans, and I saw this thing collapse, and I saw the dust, and I thought, this can't be happening.
When you walked out to that kind of scene, what goes through your mind? Scary? Exciting? I mean, you were, what, 17, 18?
I remember a show at the Rainbow Theater. You remember the Rainbow Theater? Everybody was so scared for me. And there were guards, there were, roadies all over the place, my brothers, and don't you go close to the audience. Well, what do? I go close to the audience because I want to get pulled in. And so I'm shaking the hands, and they're pulling me in, and my brothers are pulling me back, saying, no, let me go, because I wanted to do one of those body surfing things, And, but nobody ever let me do it because they said it was just too dangerous.
Well, it would have been. The worst thing you ever did to these fans, the thing that broke all their hearts, was you got married.
Yeah. My sweetheart.
You were 20 years old, 1978, your sweetheart Debbie. Millions of girls all over the world screamed in horror, fury. Yeah. That too must have been, I don't know, I would imagine a very sort of bittersweet time for you, where you would have known the terrible distress you're causing these poor girls.
No, I didn't. I had no idea. The only thing I was worried about was myself at that point in time, because I needed somebody. I needed that person, that confidant, that partner. Because think about it, Piers. I'm going from, performing in these arenas and these stadiums and all these screaming fans and all this adulation, and I go back to a silent hotel room.
Yeah.
I'm a good little Mormon boy, okay? So nothing is going on. And I'm all by myself after one extreme to the other. That really messes with your head. And I started dating this little girl, Debbie Glenn. She was 15, I was 16. And I dated her for 3.5 years secretly.
No one knew?
Nobody knew. It eventually started getting out. My dad was pretty upset about it because he said, our careers are based upon, this Donny Osmond persona, this Donny Osmond availability, this single. All these girls want Donny Osmond. You get married, and that's not going to work.
See, that's not a normal father-son conversation to have. A normal father may say, hey, you may be a bit young, but if you love this girl, they'd see it that way. Your father was looking at it from a commercial point of view.
Let's don't paint a real bad picture of this guy. He was a wonderful man.
Yeah.
But he was concerned. That was the family's livelihood. And by me getting married, it did exactly what he thought it would do. The career went into the toilet.
Your marriage killed it.
It killed it, yeah. I mean, let's call it the way it is. I mean, we can sugarcoat it as much as possible. But Piers, I got pictures of Donny Osmond record-burning parties. There were these piles of my records that they would douse with fuel and burn them and have a party because I was now married.
How did the rest of your family react to you getting married? Did they all feel, when they saw the reaction, that this could also damage their careers?
Well, I do know that my brother Merrill said it was because of me that he didn't have a rock and roll career. Because the Osmonds are known as a teeny bopper band, but we were a progressive rock and roll band, if you really dig into what we were doing. The Plan album, Crazy Horses, even Ozzy Osbourne told me that's one of his favorite rock and roll songs. But because of Donny Osmond, none of that came to fruition.
Did you at any stage regret getting married, if you're honest? I mean,
not one bit. I hate to think, Piers, what I'd be like if I didn't meet Debbie, if I didn't have her in my life.
Donny, over your 50-year career, you've become this sort of iconic pop legend. Let's take a little look at some of the highlights here. Donny Osmond, the all-American boy who became a British obsession.
I love his eyes, I love his teeth, I love him.
Donny is a stud.
Donny was the original teen idol.
There's only one of him. Donny Osmond is special.
In the 1970s, a young Donny sang his way into the hearts of millions of teenage girls.
I just lived, breathed, ate Donny.
I really thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I first realised I'd fallen in love with Donny when every single penny I had for pocket money I spent on posters.
And his biggest solo hit was the perfect soundtrack for all that teenage longing.
And they called it
Puppy
Love. I'm not going to sing the other part.
Oh, I guess they'll never know.
Oh, Donny.
I think Puppy Love does exactly what it needs to do. It attracts the women, and it repels the guys.
The UK was gripped by scenes of Osmond mania, and Donny was at the heart of it.
I remember flying in to Heathrow, getting off, we waved, and the balcony had given out because there was way too many people.
These girls were fueled up with passion, and they wanted every bit of Donny.
Donny, would you come up and...
Donny cut his perfect showbiz teeth aged just 5, joining his older brothers, who were already regulars on top American TV series The Andy Williams Show.
Little Donny came on and sang You Are My Sunshine.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy.
He was unbelievable.
On stage, Donny and his brothers always made it look so easy, but conquering the entertainment world at such a young age came at a price.
I think his childhood was extremely difficult, being in the public's eye.
Our dad was a pleaser, and he instilled that into us. I mean, think about it. You know, you have to go on stage, live television show. You have to deliver or you're going to let the family down. That pressure as a kid is a killer.
The announcer would say, the Osmonds are up next, and they're going to do this in one take. We could not make a mistake. Osmonds don't make mistakes.
As their worldwide fame grew, the Osmonds were completely cut off from normal life.
They've grown up in this business, and we never let it interfere with our private lives. We keep a close family tie.
It was unbelievable amount of isolation. In the earlier years,
we couldn't go outside. We had bodyguards everywhere. It was kind of weird. You felt like almost in some ways something was wrong with you, you know.
The family's Mormon faith also made them rock and roll outsiders.
People saw them as very squeaky clean. No coffee, no tea, no groupies.
I think that any guy who has any kind of an ego at all loves the ideas of having gals follow him. My goodness, who doesn't? Donny's wouldn't just follow him, they'd attack him.
Donny really didn't have a social life. He didn't date. I mean, it was always work, 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 work.
I think he was lonely, and he was afraid to really open his heart up to too many people.
How do you feel watching that? I mean, it made me feel rather sad. It made you feel sad. Does that bring back the bad memories you had of that time, the reality of being Donny Osmond?
Take any little teenager, you know, they go to school, they have their friends, they have a social life. Take all that away from them, and you take away their life. My life was defined by the press. Don't define who I am. Yeah, I sang that song, but I'm more than just that. That's what was missing. That's what Debbie brought to me.
What's the thing, when you look back on it, that you wished you'd been able to experience that you never could?
Going to school, having a friend come over, you know, going to a movie theater with a buddy. You know, things that people take for granted. Oh, that's normal. It wasn't normal to me. It was so foreign. And what's really interesting is that when guys come to the audience, or came to the audience, I should say, back in the 80s or the 90s, it would freak me out. It's like, oh, they're here to mock me.
Well, I wanted to kill you, so I speak for the nation.
That's why I had a lot of anxiety, because of you.
Yeah, but you understand just about the destructive damage you did to all our love life. You've never apologized to me. I had to go through my entire teenage years with every girl I fancied basically being in love with Donny Osmond. You owe me, and men of my generation, an apology.
Okay, I am very, very sorry. Apology.
Not really.